After coming out as a trans woman, I got to have my first lesbian experience. Growing up, I had the same thoughts about lesbians that most red-blooded American males had. Like lesbians are so hot, man. They're like kissing and stuff. It's so hot. So once I did experience it, I can honestly say, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I'm surprised any biological woman can be in the same room as this man without throwing up. In recent years, I've noticed a clear trend where male lesbian fetishists will become trans in order to have sex with lesbians. This is clear homophobia. Because of this trend, today I will be reviewing the TV show The L Word, which is about the love lives of a group of lesbians. The messaging of the show is anti-transgender and pro-lesbian, and it points out the homophobic ideas within trans ideology. Hi, my name is Mariana, and on my channel I dissect film, television, and video games from a radical feminist perspective. Just a quick disclaimer, this video does not advocate for harassment, violence, or participation in hate groups of any kind. The L Word is shockingly thorough in its coverage of TERF philosophy. When I started out watching the show, I expected it to be rather surface level, given that TERF philosophy is so niche, and the L Word is such a mainstream show. After all, the L Word aired for 6 whole seasons on Showtime, from 2004 to 2009. Showtime is a prolific television network. I thought transgenderism would be in 1 or 2 episodes maximum. To my surprise, this show covered all of TERF philosophy, leaving nothing out. It was like J.K. Rowling's Twitter feed put into a popular lesbian television show. In this video, I will go through the entire transgender storyline of the show and explain why it's TERF. To get people new to the channel caught up on TERF philosophy, I'll start with examples of how trans ideology is inherently sexist. After that, I'll go into examples of how trans ideology is inherently homophobic. The primary trans character in The L Word is a trans man named Max. In the show, pre-transition Max interviews for a job at a company with a sexist work culture. She gets turned down because she is a woman and presents as one. Later, after she transitions, she re-interviews at a higher-ranking job at the same company, while looking like a man, and lands the job. The show critiques Max for working at a company that is sexist and for benefiting from the sexism. It implies that transgender men betray their fellow women by benefiting from male privilege.
And what did the guy say when you told him that they passed on Moira for a lesser job with the exact same resume and the same qualifications?
Do you know how much they're offering to pay me, Jenny?
What did he say?
6 figures.
Yeah, but you have to go back.
Come on.
You gotta go back. You gotta go confront their fucking hypocrisy, that equal opportunity bullshit. You know, I spoke to my agent about it, and she was gonna talk to the New Yorker about writing a piece.
That's so uncool. I mean, I told you, I don't want to do that.
So what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna sell out?
If you think men are the enemy, then you and I have a problem.
The show points out that by transitioning, Max does nothing to help other women at the company who still have to face sexism.
Hey, Megan, what's wrong?
She gave Berkeley Hill the promotion.
Kidding me? That is so uncool. I mean, you're so much more qualified than Berkeley Hill. Plus, you've been here since the beginning.
Do you suggest I do?
Hey, fucking soon. Listen to me, Megan. Nobody here deserves that promotion more than you. Nobody.
You know, that's easy for you to say. You're a member of the boys' club. A nice member, but a member nonetheless.
Max transitioning hasn't done anything to change the sexist practices at the company. Her boss is still sexist, and once she comes out to her boss, he starts acting hostile to her. The hostility eventually becomes so unbearable that she quits the job. Furthermore, Max is shown to adhere to sexist stereotypes. She thinks that she is a man simply because she does not conform to female stereotypes. For example, she likes wearing suits.
Where'd you get that suit?
But why can't women like suits? It's sexist to think that if you like suits, that makes you more male.
Why'd you move to LA?
I get more work as a dancer. A lot of music videos shoot here. But I miss San Francisco. There are pretty much no butch women in LA.
You think so?
Well, no culture, no community. Everyone's all into high fashion. Female masculinity isn't celebrated here.
I guess it's not really.
Is that why you became a man?
Many masculine women transition because they are uncomfortable with being masculine women. It's internalized misogyny. Transgenderism is when someone with a gender nonconforming personality changes their biology to better reflect sexist stereotypes. It implies that if a woman is extremely masculine, there's something wrong with that, and she should change herself to fit into social norms by becoming male. What's more, in this other scene, a guy presumes that Max is trans with no evidence whatsoever other than her clothing, maybe.
What's your screenplay about?
The life. A girl who becomes a boy, what he goes through. You know, small town, realizing he's really not a she. You know, girlfriends, family shit, tea.
So, it's about your life?
Or maybe it's about yours, Lex. Huh? Or, like, you know, if I'm presuming anything, just please tell me to shut up.
Why would he presume that, though? Because her clothing isn't feminine enough? This is sexist because it implies that she must be a man if she wears certain clothing, because women can't wear that clothing or have short hair. In this scene, one of Max's friends explains that transgenderism relies on sexist stereotypes.
But people will start to see me for who I am.
You know, it just saddens me to see so many of our strong butch girls giving up their womanhood to be a man. You know, we're losing our warriors, our greatest women. And I don't want to lose you.
I'm not following some trend.
What if I lived my life feeling white inside? And then the next day I woke up and I could change the color of my skin, the features on my face to become white? Would you encourage me to do that?
I don't know. I mean, do you feel white inside?
What's white inside? What's male inside? What's female inside? Why can't you be the butchest butch in the world and keep your body?
Because I want to feel whole. I want the outside of me to match the inside of me.
You'll be giving up the most precious thing in the world.
What, my tits?
No, being a woman.
Additionally, Max exhibits sexism towards other lesbian characters in the show.
You know what? How about we help you with your bags?
Oh, you girls just relax and let us butches unload the truck. Come on, Ching.
Normally, it would make sense for males to do the manual work, since males are physically stronger than females. But they're all females in this situation. So Max's comment about butches wasn't about biological differences, but about adhering to gender roles. Again, trans ideology relies on gender stereotypes while ignoring biology. Here's another example of Max being misogynistic to others.
When you cook a pot of male lobsters and they realize they're in this pot of boiling water, they all start totally freaking out. They're like, fuck, we gotta get out of here. And they start making these little ladders and helping each other get out of the pot. So you have to put a lid on the pot to keep them inside. But female lobsters, you don't have to put a lid on the pot because once they realize they're in a pot of boiling water, they all just start grabbing each other and they're like holding each other down. They're like, if I'm gonna die, everyone's gonna die. It's a real shame, isn't it?
Wow. Those crazy female lobsters just get you sometimes.
She has major "I'm not like other girls" energy here. Here, she says it would be nice to be part of a trad family.
Max, would you want to be some oblivious guy that lives in the suburbs and has a wife and kids and SUV who just lets all the rotten shit in the world go by, trying not to let it touch him?
I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to be happy.
Now that the new viewers have a general understanding of TERF basics, let's get to the part where the show specifically talks about transgenderism as homophobic.
How'd you like to dance?
You guys, it's a straight club. You're gonna make people feel uncomfortable.
Then they deserve to be uncomfortable, don't you think?
No?
Max, I don't understand why you want to be like these people. You seem so much more interesting as who you are.
How do you know who I am? You don't know who the fuck I am. How do you know I'm not like these people?
Max desperately wants to fit in with the heterosexuals. She wants to be straight by becoming a man who dates women, rather than remaining a woman who dates women. This scene underscores how transgenderism results in lesbian erasure. as in many lesbians stop regarding themselves as lesbians and will instead transition into men and think of themselves as straight men. Max doesn't want to make straight people uncomfortable by being a lesbian. She wants to transition in order to fit in. But her girlfriend says that Max will never fit in because she is in reality not a straight man, and people will always eventually find out the truth.
I just don't know why we can't work it out.
Because you identify as a straight man. So there's the mismatch, because you want me to be your straight girlfriend to your straight guy. And I identify as a lesbian who likes to fuck girls.
Later on, when a lesbian couple is discussing plans for pregnancy, Max assumes that the more feminine woman rather than the butch woman will be the one to get pregnant, thus again showing Max's stereotyped thinking, which in this case is also homophobic.
You don't have kids. You don't want them, do you? Yeah, I think I do. You do?
Carmen would be really beautiful pregnant.
What makes you think that Shane wouldn't carry the baby?
More evidence of her homophobia can be seen in this scene, when Max thinks that traditional home and traditional gender roles are nice.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea you were such role-playing, Lesbian.
Come on, we're not. Actually, I'd like for her to be here, but her family's so traditional, so I stepped back.
I think that's nice.
I think that's regressive.
The show's coverage of Max's transgender status can be best described as passive-aggressive. And I say this in an approving way. The passive aggression is well executed and actually hilarious.
How's Jenny's indentured servant working out there?
I gotta say, I think she's kind of cute.
I know, in a nerdy kind of
Yes,
way.
and
I think so
but
too.
really hot.
I think there's something kind of off about her, maybe.
Really? Like what?
Like, she's not exactly who she pretends to be.
You're one to talk there, Max.
Ooh, you know what? Fuck off.
The showrunners clearly saw Max as a troubled, same-sex attracted woman rather than a real man. Max's lesbian friend group supports her transition superficially, even helping her administer her hormone treatment. But under the surface, they are negative towards her decision to become a man. They are often visibly reluctant to call her by the pronouns he, him. The best example of the show's passive-aggressive attitude towards Max's trans status would be the mere inclusion of her as a main character in the show. After all, this is a show about lesbians. If you look at a list of all the main characters in the show, almost all of them are women who are attracted to women. There's only one man who is considered a main character, and he is the ex-husband of one of the lesbians who at the start of the show is just starting to become familiar with the lesbian community. He's only there to advance the lesbian plot of one of the main female characters. Considering this, and the fact that the show is literally named the L word, it's safe to say that the showrunners likely regard Max as a same-sex attracted woman. The show is not outright aggressive towards Max, however. There are moments of empathy exhibited towards Max's situation. She is anything but a two-dimensional negative portrayal, and the show acknowledges the difficulties of her everyday life. Max is a generally sympathetic protagonist. She is usually mild-mannered and well-meaning, and she is never depicted in a way that elicits complete contempt in the viewer. That being said, Max is unintentionally homophobic towards gay men. She is bisexual and dates gay men because she thinks that she is also a man. But this is homophobic because being gay means being same-sex attracted. If a woman thinks that she has the right to date a gay man, that's homophobic. Transgenderism removes the definition of woman and man, and therefore removes the definition of being same-sex attracted. I will try my best to explain this situation without being vulgar, but in the show, Max essentially uses plastic parts to get a blowjob from a gay man. She calls this experience gender affirming. Interesting how she prioritizes her own affirmation over the sexual orientation of a gay man. She additionally says that she went to her high school prom with a gay man who was in the closet.
Did you go to prom? Yeah, I did. I went with Buck Thornton.
Buck Thornton?
Yeah, he was the captain of the football team. Yeah, a total closet case.
In season 5, episode 9, Max goes on a date with a gay guy and starts a long-term relationship with him. This relationship causes a pregnancy. Max is too far along to get an abortion. The couple decides to have the baby and raise it. The lesbians talk about Max's quote-unquote father status.
How is the beautiful mother-to-be? What was that for?
He doesn't like being referred to as mother.
Why? You should be proud that you're a mother.
I'm not a mother, okay, Jenny? Can you get that?
Okay.
Jenny, stop it.
Stop what?
What'd she do?
I was doing absolutely nothing. I'm simply saying that you look beautiful. You have these breasts now. You know, you have hips and you're curvaceous and you're becoming womanly now.
Jenny.
Max's gay male partner starts to become less attracted to Max because as she gets pregnant, her biological reality starts to become more apparent. She starts to physically look more female, and the gay guy is same-sex attracted. He starts flirting with biological men. Soon after, the gay man ends up disappearing without a trace, leaving Max alone. The L word doesn't really conclude Max's storyline. We don't find out whether or not she keeps the child. The show ends with Max being in miserable circumstances of her own doing, though the show does not at all take glee in this. Her story is better interpreted as an empathetic cautionary tale to lesbians on the consequences of going down the path of transgenderism. That being said, there is a spin-off show called The L Word Generation Q, which is made at a later date. I haven't watched much of the spin-off show, but from what I have seen, it doesn't have TERF thinking unfortunately, and Max is shown with multiple children. She reveals that she kept the child and raised it, and gives advice to another trans man about what it's like to be a parent. She is shown to be in a relationship with a cross-dressing male.
So they actually carried our first child.
Can you help?
Yeah, it was totally unplanned. It was before Reese and I were together. I was dating this gay cis guy, and he turned out to be the worst.
Yeah, no, I dated one of those too. So.
And our middle two is from my first marriage, the boring old hetero way.
And then we adopted Phoenix from foster care last year. Hey, Phoenix.
Yeah?
Honey, will you come and eat some of this turkey jerky? She is gonna crash big time.
Definitely.
Wait, so did they call you both Nibby, or where did it come from?
No. So I'm Dama and Max is Nibby.
That's so cute.
Yeah, we like it.
Yeah, we just sort of figured, dad's just a sound. I mean, the meaning is totally made up. Are you two in therapy?
Yeah, I mean, I am. And I'm a therapist as well, so I kind of live in that world.
It seems like the new show is substantially more woke, and tries to make up for its past quote-unquote transphobia by showing that Max is a happy and capable parent, and that everything turns out great. The original L Word was more realistic in its portrayal. Max was not at all in the mental space to have a child. She was completely miserable and alone because she dated a same-sex attracted gay man. She did not want to be pregnant and was not considering her biological reality. It's actually completely unrealistic to say that Max was mentally in a place in her life at that time to be a parent.
I'll make a speech. Okay, Max, huh? Big day, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh. In this world, Max, it can be harsh. We know. You know more than any of us about that. But that's giving you knowledge, and knowledge is gonna give you strength. And sure, it's great to have two parents. Like, hello, these two. Exhibit A, two adoring parents. But listen to this, Max. You being alone is better because you don't have to go through all that bullshit, of figuring it all out with someone else. Like, let's circumcise, or no, we can't circumcise, or let him stay up late and I want him to go to bed. And, it's much better. It's just you and the kid, huh?
What's she doing? Doing what she always does.
Things
Watch
like
her,
that. You don't
she's on
have
a
to do
roll.
that. It's all you. So Max, listen, to you, everybody cheers. It is amazing that you're bringing a life into this world. And I can only hope, really, that this child, will turn out to be someone who has values, who knows the real meaning of honesty, the real meaning of trust and real friendship, someone who would stand up to their girlfriend when they know she's wrong. We can all only hope that this child will not grow up to be a thief, someone who would steal people's ideas and lives and things like that. So I pray, Max, for your child, that they won't grow up to be malicious and manipulative and fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked up things.
Yeah.
Right?
Alice.
Max, that's what I'm saying tonight.
The show is also a cautionary tale regarding the medical consequences of transgenderism. Max transitions by using illegally obtained hormones.
Are you doing hormones?
No. Not yet. I've been thinking about
You
it.
don't have to wait, Max. I can hook you up.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You mean I don't have to wait for a doctor's prescription? When I got my tea, I got it from a friend, and it was kind of smuggled or whatever, so...
Jeez. What dosage are you on, dude?
200, like, every week, but when I started out...
Do you have any idea what that could do to your liver?
Not to mention your personality. You got any friends left, man?
She ends up becoming aggressive and rude due to her testosterone use.
You're my girlfriend. This is my party. You shouldn't be dancing with some other dude.
I'm gonna dance with whoever the fuck I want to dance with.
I'm sorry about last night. This is testosterone. It, like, amps me up.
You know, you embarrassed me.
Additionally, the show explains that top surgery is insanely expensive. Indeed, the medical industry does have much to gain financially from trans ideology and has been shown to have a history of being exploitative. Max compares her top surgery to her friend's breast cancer removal, saying that both are life-saving procedures. Her friend is skeptical.
I want you to know, I mean, you don't have to accept this. Maybe I shouldn't even say it, but it's life and death for me, too.
But you don't have cancer.
Overall, the show excelled in its application of TERF thinking. Because it aired in the Y2K era, the show was not beholden to the modern-day social media cancel mob. It was created during a time when Hollywood enjoyed greater freedoms regarding political speech. That being said, the show was very explicit, so if I was not a radical feminist content creator, I most likely would not have watched it to the extent that I did. It's not to my personal taste, but it was well executed and thoughtful. I did enjoy seeing what mainstream TV would be like if Hollywood writers were radical feminist. I am new to making video essays on YouTube, but I plan to make more soon and consistently. If you enjoyed this video, please consider following me on Twitch as well. I live stream weekly, so if you want to hang out and chat, feel free to stop by. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.